Championship. The first time ever a Toyota has won the Australian Endurance Championship. It's been dominated by General Motors, which has won it 7 times, and Ford, which has won it 3. Williamson knows the pressures that are on him, as he told us before the race started.
They won for 295 crowd at Illustrate Australia, and I've got a certain amount of respect for them. I've got to try and come first as well. And also, we've got to win the championship, and it's a fairly tall order, actually. It's 3 points, you know, it's a long way. Around here, our cars are a bit heavier. The Lancers are very good in their class. The Mitsubishi Lancer is a very good 1600cc car, and we've got a few sort of people who are hassling us in our class, so, you know, it's not going to be easy.
With the rain falling down, Graham Bailey has already spun his Toyota Celica and has had a great deal of difficulty in getting back onto the circuit from the rain-soaked infield, which is very muddy. Peter Williamson, therefore, has the responsibility of the championship on his own shoulders. The rain starts to fall more heavily, still not hard enough to warrant coming in for intermediate tyres. Alan Moffat is in 3rd position. He's 20 seconds behind Peter Brock, who has a short lead to Dick Johnson. Alan Moffat was hoping if it was going to rain, that it would rain very heavily. He's got some good intermediate wet weather tyres, hand grooved, which he used to get right amongst the pole position setters in the recent James Hardy 1000 at Bathurst. He knows that the Mazda is very good in very wet weather conditions, and that's what he's hoping for, that this weather will start to get worse than it is at the moment. The Mazda RX-7, of course, is a small engine, rotary engine motor car. However, with the peripheral porting that it's allowed to run, which Moffat incidentally has fought for with the Confederation of Australian Motorsport for 2 years, it's rated out to 4,584 cc's. That's only 500 cc's less than the capacity of Peter Brock's V8 Holden Commodore. So Moffat, while he's driving a small car, is in fact in the big car class and is rated along with them. Moffat evaluated his car's capabilities and the others before the race.
The qualifying times are good, and I think if I can maintain that pace in the race, it should be interesting. We certainly know we got the reliability to go, and I think it's a track where the little RX-7 will respond, and I think I can push the others along.
The problem of tyre wear and fuel, how does that affect you?
We've got good consumption miles per gallon by any standards, and Surfers has always been hard on tires. It's still a question of nursing the car a little bit to get just that added distance if you're trying to go a little farther than the others.
And Alan Moffat showing that he has another problem as well, that of a very, very croaky voice. In fact, he came down with the flu very badly after going to America to attend the Las Vegas Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. He spent a week in bed, in fact, and is on antibiotics today. I saw him in the pits before the race. He is not very well at all, and I think that the endurance that is demanded by this event will really tell on Alan Moffat today.
But John, you must be perfectly happy with the way Peter's going at the moment.
Yeah, well, it couldn't be any better for us, leading, and actually he established a gap now of about 6 or 7 seconds. We're quite happy with that. The decision relating to the tyres is entirely up to Peter. He'll stay out there as long as he's happy. Fuel-wise, we've got a range of about 250k. So as long as Peter can handle it and maintain the lead, he'll just stay out there and probably till about half distance or maybe a little longer.
Can you give us some indication on just how much rain has to be on the track before you consider changing to wet tyres?
Oh, it'd have to be nearly torrential to go to actual wet tyres. We'd probably change to intermediate tyres because you must remember that you get a shower, then it dries out, and then you have to come back and change the tyres. So we'd probably put it on to intermediates, but really at the moment there's not enough rain around to even warrant considering going to either intermediates or wet tyres. We'll just stay on the dries.
And the rain claims its first victim. That's the Mazda RX-7 of Peter McLeod. It's gone over, rolled end for end under the Dunlop Bridge. McLeod has been treated by ambulancemen. It's taken officials some 5 minutes to crowbar him out of the motor car. Just look at that wreck. He would have gone over at 130 miles an hour. Moving it back to a safer position so that the other drivers, should they come unstuck in that very treacherous corner, will not also hit the wreckage. 45 minutes into the race, and Peter Williamson has rolled now. Out of the Dunlop Bridge, going down Peter straight towards Rothman's corner. The Celica has gone over and over. That's it lying there. Peter Williamson is out of the car and over the safety fence. But that now throws the Australian Endurance Championship into doubt. It comes back to Graham Bailey now in the other Celica, who now inherits the class lead, to see if he can take the Endurance Championship. But what bad luck for Peter Williamson. Rolled that car over and over. Peter Brock, 34 laps down, some 60 laps remaining in this race, and he's signalling to his pit that there is a problem. Look at that rear wheel lifting. Although the track is still wet, Brock is flinging this motor car around. Meantime, in the pits, they are setting up with a front right or front left-hand tyre, which may be Brock's problem. Certainly this time, Brock isn't going for the pits. He's going through again, but he's been signalling furiously to his pit crew. He's telling them there's something wrong at the back of the motor car. There's a slick tyre waiting in the pits right now. We've got the two left-hand side tyres out, ready to put on the motor car. Brock is only 6 seconds in front of Dick Johnson, and Johnson now is keeping the pressure on Peter Brock. Exactly the opposite to what we expected in this race. There's Brock through the kink in the back straight, 4th gear. There's Johnson right behind him and closing, so Brock probably does have a tyre problem. Flashing his lights at slower competitors in front of him, warning him to get out of the way. Brock desperate to win this race. It's very important to him that he shows Dick Johnson that he can beat Dick Johnson on his home ground, and he's putting up a magnificent effort. Look at both inside wheels there lifting. Only 35 laps down, the circuit abrasive, but one wouldn't expect him to be taking a tyre change yet, even in the wet, even in the dry. So in the wet, it's very unusual. Something else must have gone wrong with the car. No signal this time. Yes, there is a signal from Brock that time, but not so desperate. Maybe he's decided that he's going to have to live with it, because he can see Johnson now starting to dog him, and the gap is closing. Car 17, Dick Johnson, the man from Prudential, sponsored by the Queensland Ford dealers. And the most successful man in Australian motor racing this year. Won the Australian Touring Car Championship, taken it away from Peter Brock. Won the James Hardy 1000 at Bathurst, took it away from Peter Brock. Brock doesn't want Johnson to win this one. Smooth Dick Johnson turns beautifully into the corner, into the S's. See the dry patch through the S's there. A lot of residual water hanging around, but there is one dry line through the S's, and it's that which very smoothly Dick Johnson is clinging to. 3rd position in the race. Alan Moffat has taken his pit stop, only 40 laps down, if that. He's been in the pits about 35 seconds. He took a left rear tyre and slams back out onto the circuit, losing 3rd position to Terry Shield in another Mazda RX-7. Alan Moffat has taken the first significant pit stop of the race. And I just wonder why Moffat took that pit stop. It's very, very unusual at this time. This is the motor car that you would expect to be the lightest on tyres of the leading competitors, and in fact it's he who's taken the first pit stop. So between Peter Brock going off, Alan Moffat taking what must be termed an unscheduled pit stop, the race is one of drama and mystery at this stage, and a lot depends on Bob Vincent in the pits to tell us as the race progresses what occurred.
Well, we've had just over 2 running in this race, and it's past the halfway mark, so any time now we should see the leading contenders come in and pit for that vital fuel stop. That's Peter Brock and Dick Johnson. We've already seen Alan Moffat come in a very, very fast pit stop. He's back out on the track on a new set of tyres. With me at the moment, though,